For ages long before me, this chateau had been occupied by my ancestors. For centuries, its lofty battlements have frowned down upon the wild and rugged countryside about, serving as a home and stronghold for the proud house, whose honoured line is older even than the moss-grown castle walls. From its machicolated parapets and mounted battlements, barons, counts, and even kings had been defied. Yet never had its spacious halls resounded to the footsteps of the invader. Nevertheless, this once great residence was left to ruin as the ages passed, until at last one small portion of the castle remained inhabited. It was in this small portion of the castle that I, Antoine, the last of the unhappy and cursed Comstock, first saw the light of day 90 long years ago. It was in this small portion of the castle that I confined myself to for all of my years. My parents I never knew. My father had been killed at the age of 32, and months before I was born, by the fall of a stone somehow dislodged from one of the deserted parapets of the castle. My mother survived up until childbirth. This left me in the sole company of an old trusted man named Pierre. It wasn't until much later that I realized the real reason I was kept from the company of others. Hours upon hours I then spent teaching myself of the occult and the dark arts, and though as I aged, I learned little by little more of my heritage. In this very castle once sat an alchemist by the name of Michael Mauvais. He had studied beyond the custom of his kind, seeking such artifacts as the Philosopher's Stone, and was reputed wise in the secrets of black magic and alchemy. Mauvais had one son named Charles Le Sorcier, and the pair of them were suspected by many as devil worshippers, and that Michael had in fact sacrificed his wife in search of devilish glory. One night these nobles that had suspected such things of Mauvais and his son were led by my ancestor Count Godfrey, and they stormed the manor in search of the alchemist. During this brutal storming of the manor, my ancestor killed the alchemist, and so his search party left the manor. Outside the manor, the nobles were approached by Charles Le Sorcier, and in pride the nobles told him of his father's death. Mine heir, a noble of thy murderous line, survived to reach a greater age than thine. As Charles muttered this curse upon my ancestor, he threw a phial of colourless liquid at Count Godfrey, and he died instantly on the day of his 32nd birthday. To the very hour of his birth, no trace of Sorcier was found after the murder. Knowing my years were limited, I decided that I had to be the one who ended the curse that had plagued my family for so many centuries, and so I searched through every book in the manor's library, seeking logical reasoning behind my ancestors' deaths. When this seemed to have failed, I turned back to the occult in search of ways to break the curse. One thing I knew for certain was I must never wed, for if I was unable to end this curse through my studies, it must end with my blood.
Pierre met his maker a mere 2 months ago. Upon his death, I took it upon myself to explore all the manor that was restricted by him.
Search for a elixir of life is only one phase of the insatiable desire to investigate the infinite which has characterized the human species since it first made its appearance upon the planet.
Frog. Ilya.
Who are you?
Ilya. Effing Frog. Ilma. Your death will come soon.
What do you want with me?
I must make you and your ancestry deal with the consequences of your actions. I must take revenge in the name of Charles the Sorcier and the fulfillment of his curse. Charles escaped into the night. After announcing the curse, only returning some years later to kill Robert, son of Godfrey. Afterwards, he would then flee. He would then return, years after years, killing your ancestors as they aged to 32. And now, it is your time.
That fool! Have you not guessed my secret? Have you no brain whereby you may recognize the will which has through 600 centuries fulfilled the dreadful curse on your home? Have you not learned of the great elixir of life? Know you not the secret of alchemy was solved? No. I tell you it is I who for 600 long years have lived to maintain my revenge. For I am John the Sorcerer.